Yo, what's happening, Green Blood fans? This is Rafael from C Manga, and it seems like the chapters just keep coming these past 2 weeks. Here to give you 4 chapter reviews of Green Blood, starting off with chapter 32, Determination. And yeah, it was a brilliant chapter. It shows how bad the Emancipation Proclamation was during that times. It was, it was more or less just a facade, a false like sense of security, like to make black people feel like they were treated fairly. But after a while, they realized that they weren't being treated any different. Because in the chapter, it like explains how long this act had been enforced, and things still hadn't changed for them. They were still being discriminated against. The farm owner is, as I thought he was, he's like just as racist as the owner, the other workers he employs, and he's basically knows the cattle rustlers were black people, and he knows that Ned had led them there and got them in, and he basically says to kill them all, including Ned. And Luke was like saying, what's really gonna happen to Ned? It's like he's like, well, we're gonna bring him back and hang him, and he disagrees with this and says, no, it's like, we'll make a deal. You'll come back and he'll tend the horses again. That's my deal. And while they're riding now, Brad was like, why would you get involved and do something like that? And Luke basically says he doesn't care about race, black or white. He can't understand the kind of pain Ned would have had to go through, but he knows one thing, if that's true. He knows that Ned enjoyed tending horses, and it's like that's what he wants to do for him. He basically wants to keep him happy, so that's why he wants to do this. And he gives Brad his gun, shocking Brad, because he's like, really? And it's like, I don't want to have any defense or any sort of way I would accidentally shoot Ned. So he basically relinquishes his firearm to Brad, so there's no chance of him having to shoot Ned. We see the camp now where the rustlers are, and Ned is feeling guilty, and the lead guy who broke in, he was basically ordering the whole thing in the last chapter. He's saying, you're feeling guilty, aren't you? And it's like, I feel guilty about it too. I really don't want to do it, but it's been 4 years. Like, this is how long these people have had to suffer. 4 years of discrimination after the Emancipation Proclamation was enforced, and it's like black people still have a hard time while the white people are basically living it up and enjoying themselves. So it's like they got to work twice as hard, and they're not seeing the benefits. And basically they get ambushed now. The horsemen who come from the farm are on their way, and they basically set to kill everyone. But the guys the rustlers, have made a stand and tell Ned, you're the best horseman here. It's like, you should be able to handle the herd quite well. So it's like, get away from here. Sell the cattle for $6,000 or $6,000 back then, and become free. It's like, be happy and show the white folks, as they say, that we're not to be looked down on, and we're not inferior. Make something good with your life. And it's like, we'll make sure they don't get through any of them. So it was really sad but touching scene to see that there's they're putting everything on the line to make this little boy basically get away, and they know they're going into basically die. And Luke sees that the herd has moved on, and he sees that Ned is the one who's leading the cattle, and he's shocked because he didn't really think Ned would do it. But he goes after him, and he basically tries to stop him and try to convince him to come back. But Ned's really not interested, so he doesn't want to go back, and it's like he threatens to shoot Luke if he carries on going any further. But Luke carries on, like, trotting forward with the horse, and then there's a bang and cliffhanger. Literally, it's just like dead there. So we have no idea who was shot, or like if Ned did it or someone else did it. But yeah, it cuts there, and it was really tense. I could feel like the sadness and the hostile nature in this chapter was really on point. Artwork once again was like literally just to a T, brilliant. And I just said I love the historical elements that are being brought into the story, and how well it fits in as well. and the rawness of it. Nothing's been like watered down or spoon fed to us. It's been given to us in its, as I said, raw format, and we could feel like the emotions of the characters and how painful this time is for them. So yeah, really brilliant chapter, and the next three following will be really good. So there's not really much I could say. You guys, can leave your comments what you thought about the chapter. How do you feel about it? And if you haven't read the next one, you can leave opinions. If not, I'll join you in the next video. And as usual, leave likes if you enjoyed the video and the chapter, and subscribe for more content to the channel. And I'll join you in the next video in a few secs.